Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're taking some genuinely brilliant psychological insights and turning them into something you can actually use, a highly practical friendship audit. Whether it's your weekend crew or your colleagues at the office, if you've ever walked away from hanging out with someone feeling completely drained, well, you are in the exact right place. We're going to evaluate the people in your life using a really clear, structured approach to find out who actually has your back. Which brings us to a pretty tough question, right? Do you have a fake friend? Now, I know that's not an easy thing to ask yourself, but today we're going to run your social circle through a mental checklist of 7 specific warning signs. Basically, we're looking to see if someone's behavior points to them being selfish, manipulative, disingenuous, or ultimately just flat out using you. To keep this whole audit organized, we're going to grade these relationships across 4 core sections. Section 1. Testing trust and loyalty. Section 2, valuing time and effort. Section 3, communication and mutual respect. And finally, Section 4, facing the audit results. Let's just dive right in. So, Section 1, testing trust and loyalty. Here we're looking out for the backstabbers and the blame shifters. Let's see exactly how this person handles your reputation and, more importantly, your vulnerabilities. All right, sign number 1 on the checklist. Do they talk about you behind your back? Ask yourself if this person gossips about you or, spreads your secrets around. Like maybe they share a private conversation you had in complete confidence just so they can look like they have the inside scoop at the office. Listen, fake friends, they literally don't care about jeopardizing your reputation or humiliating you if it means they get ahead. And the divide here is super clear. When things get tough or someone is actively belittling you, let's say in a meeting or a group chat, a true friend vouches for you. They take your side. But a fake friend, they will quickly throw you under the bus and pin the blame on you just to save their own skin. Because to them, your friendship simply isn't worth putting themselves at any kind of risk. Moving right along to Section 2, valuing time and effort. Specifically, we're talking about cancellations, exclusions, and favors. Let's see how they treat your valuable time. Next up on our mental checklist, do they constantly cancel on you? Have you ever experienced that absolute sting of, say, spending weeks planning a trip or setting up a big collaborative project at work only for them to completely bail at the exact last minute without a second thought? It's brutal. You basically learn the hard way that they never keep their word, and you just cannot count on them to come through. You also really need to ask yourself, do they exclude you from their plans? Notice if they just, conveniently seem to forget to invite you to group activities or that after-work happy hour. It so often turns into this one-way street where you're constantly the one extending the invitations, but they never, ever return the favor. And then there's this classic opportunistic behavior. Be on absolute high alert if they ghost you for weeks, only to randomly pop up saying, "Oh, hey, listen, I know we haven't talked in a while, but I need a really big favor." Notice how they completely ignore asking how you're doing? Right. They just want to use you to fix their problem. And the second you help them out, poof, they vanish again. Okay, Section 3 of our audit, communication and mutual respect. Here we are zeroing in on disguised insults and one-sided chats. Let's evaluate how they actually speak to you on a day-to-day basis. Next on the list, do they give you backhanded compliments? Really think about whether they regularly say things to you like, "Wow, you did surprisingly well on that presentation," or "That was better than I expected from you." Like, it sounds a little bit like praise at first glance, right? But it always leaves you feeling confused and, honestly, slightly insulted. Because what's actually happening here is a subtle put-down disguised as praise, usually to mask their own jealousy. The absolutely crucial point here is that this isn't just lighthearted teasing between pals or colleagues. No, this is a highly calculated way to criticize you and judge you way more harshly than they want to let on, all while pretending they're just being nice. Finally, the last item on our audit. Do they only ever talk about themselves? Go ahead and check this box if they just go on and on about their own problems, but constantly brush you off the second you try to share your own thoughts or, say, professional hurdles. The communication is just entirely one-sided because, well, they are completely self-absorbed and inconsiderate of nobody but themselves. And that brings us to Section 4, facing the audit results. The hard truth. Now that we've gone through the complete checklist, it's time to tally up those results, take a step back, and actually face the reality of these relationships head on. You see, for any real relationship to actually thrive, it requires 4 essential pillars: honesty, trust, care, and mutual respect. Whether it's your absolute best friend or a trusted coworker, if you're dealing with a self-absorbed fake friendship, you're going to notice that every single one of these foundational pillars is sorely, sorely missing. So here is your action plan. Step 1, acknowledge the painful truth. Step 2, stop denying reality. And step 3, you have to stop staying with someone who just isn't good for you. Now, if this is a coworker that you can't exactly just walk away from, you need to set boundaries. Maintain a polite, professional distance, stop oversharing your personal details, start saying no to their unreasonable favors, and protect your own energy. Which brings us to our final and probably most important question. Are you ready to stop denying the truth and finally let go of the fake friends holding you back? Look, it absolutely hurts to realize that someone is just using you, but denying that truth, that hurts your well-being so much more. So, based on the audit you just did today, whose access to your life are you going to restrict tomorrow? Thanks for joining me for this explainer, and hey, here's to surrounding yourself with the genuine support you actually deserve.